This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
A kitchen fire has taken hold of a block of units at Chigwell. Flames burst through windows of the building after a pot of oil on a stove caught fire. Residents fled to safety, with one suffering from the effects of smoke inhalation.
So I looked out the window and the whole middle unit was just engulfed in flames. A heap of smoke going through the other two units. Basically that's what you can see, a lot of bangs, a lot of glass everywhere.
The centre unit was destroyed, while adjoining properties were also damaged. The state government is attributing a rise in reported crime to an increase in police resourcing. Tasmania Police today confirmed in the past financial year crime increased by 9.4%. Its performance report showed slight increases in response times.
We've got a very tough task, but we're very confident that this is just part of a fluctuation. The crime figures go up and down on an annual basis. They've gone up 9.4% this year after a drop of 10.4% last year.
Authorities say they're being challenged with new types of offences, such as cybercrime, with the rise in technology. There are calls to further strengthen the role of the Children's Commissioner. The state government today placed advertisements for the position after the resignation of Mark Morrissey. The Greens say it's a good time to reconsider the role.
Needs to be thoroughly independent, given all the powers that they need to protect our beautiful children and young people in Tasmania.
The Commissioner is an advocate for the rights, interests and well-being of people under the age of 18. Wild weather lashed the state last night. High winds bringing down a large tree in Hobart's St David's Park. Council workers cordoning off the area to minimise disruption to Salamanca over the weekend. Despite reports of power outages, the SES says there were no major incidents. Drivers are reminded to be wary of any remaining debris on the roads. Wildlife rescuers are celebrating the successful release of a rehabilitated white-bellied sea eagle off Tasmania's south coast. The species is listed as vulnerable under our Threatened Species Act, with only 200 breeding pairs in our state.
Inside this tube is the precious cargo, a white-bellied sea eagle loaded onto a boat at Kettering, ready to return home. Today marking the end of a 12-month recovery process, carers nursing it back to health after it struck power lines.
It's done well, yeah, it's doing well, and probably about 2 months ago it was starting to fly really well, and we said, right, you're going to be right to go.
Sailing into a perfect position down the D'Entrecasteaux Channel, now comes the moment of truth.
1, 2, 3.
The eagle soaring back into its rightful home.
It was an incredibly moving experience for me, one of the greatest experiences I've ever had.
As we leave the sea eagle behind here in the wild, the next stage of its recovery is in its own hands. Its job now to find a mate.
It'll still very quickly adapt to the wildness of this territory, and this is in an area where it was originally found, so it'll be familiar with this country.
For the raptor refuge, this is the end of a journey.
It's never hard, it's what it's all about. So get them in, get them out. There's no shortage of these birds coming in.
But today's successful release gives this iconic species another chance. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
A champion of Launceston's adopted AFL club will play his final game in the state for the Hawks tomorrow. Luke Hodge is opening up about his time in Tasmania before his impending send-off against the Kangaroos.
Luke Hodge presented the prized Premiership Cup to Tasmania not once, not twice, but 3 times. And after 45 games, 33 goals and more than 1,000 disposals at York Park, we're about to say hooroo to the Hawks hero.
It's been great to see the bond between Tasmania and Hawthorn grow over the last 15, 16 years.
Hodge arriving alongside teammates this afternoon, stopped for a few snaps with fans who have followed his journey from the start.
The support was maybe 10% Hawthorn as far as the kids at Auskick. And then you rock up now and there's 70-75% of the kids wearing Hawthorn jumpers.
One of Hodge's favourite memories from Tasmania is playing his 200th game here against Port Adelaide. But he says it's the little things which stand out.
Not so much important wins down here, it's been more so the certain moments, Sam Mitchell's left foot banana goal from the pocket, the new change rooms. There's been little moments like that that just sort of stick vividly in your mind.
Although tomorrow's Tassie derby is a dead rubber on paper, Kangaroos coach Brad Scott is under pressure to get just his second win since round 10, while Hawthorn's Will Langford will be looking to find some form in front of goal. Although it isn't concerning the 25-year-old just yet.
No, not at all. It's just work in progress.
Langford will be one of the players wearing bright shoelaces in a symbolic bid to stop social violence.
Get people thinking about what they want to stand for as an individual and make some decisions before perhaps they're put in an awkward position late at night after they've had a few drinks.
Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
The Silverdome has become a ballroom for hundreds of dancers across Australasia. Finals will run throughout the evening for the Tasmanian Open Dance Sport Championships.
This is like no other in Australia, where the couples get to compete against the best in the world right here. It's the hometown advantage.
Some gowns are valued at up to $4,000. Top-level dancers train up to 6 times per week in preparation for competition. We'll bring you the highlights from the finals tomorrow night.
And Hobart City's hopes of finals footy have been shattered at Lauderdale Oval this afternoon, with the D's never in the contest against a dominant Bombers outfit, while the Blues did it easy over the Pies on the northwest coast in a scrappy, low-scoring affair. Looking for their 7th win on the trot, the Bombers had it all their way in the opening quarter, with Tutai Havea opening the account for the home side. Dominating the clearance, the Bombers extended the lead through Scott Hill as the D's struggled to claw themselves into contention. A rare transition for the visitors saw Josh Williamson boot the side's first from right on 50, before Will Pepin almost took one of the screamers of the year. With the D's plagued by errors and missed chances, the Bombers made them pay. Alex Hill was too strong down forward, helping his side to a 3-goal buffer come the long break. Phil Bell-Chambers making sure of it in his return for the home side, with the Bombers running out the 82-point winners. It was an ugly game of football in testing conditions on the northwest coast, with the Pies unable to put anything on the scoreboard until the third quarter. Rulla Kelly Mansell helping the Blues to a 4-goal half-time buffer, but the majors were few and far between thanks to the wind. A late goal in the third, putting things well out of reach for the Pies as the visitors kept themselves well in the mix for finals with the 27-point win. The Launceston Tornadoes have pulled off an incredible come-from-behind win in the dying minutes of the match to progress to the next round of the Siebel Conference Finals. The Chargers were looking the goods for most of the match in front of the home crowd, but the Tawns never lost belief.
Sheer relief after having to battle every step of the way. The Chargers came out firing in front of the home crowd, dominating early, but they couldn't shake the Tawns, who managed to narrow the margin at the first break.
There's not one time I thought, oh, we're not in this, but I think all the girls played their hearts out.
Nicholson proving the backbone for the visitors in a heated physical contest. The Chargers headed into the main break up by 4 and looking every bit the favourites, but the Tawns refused to say die.
Man, these girls, they've been through so much this year already, and they've got so much fight in them, and sometimes I have to pull it out of them, but they've got it in them, and they never give up.
Heading into the dying minutes of the match, it was the Chargers who had the edge, or so the crowd thought. The Tawns rallying to even things up before overrunning the home side in a thrilling finish, taking the match by just 4 points.
We came through tonight and we played the way we should play, and we haven't played for a while, but we get to go and prepare for next week now. I do get emotional sometimes. I try and keep it under wraps, but I couldn't tonight.
I think down the stretch we executed, and it feels great.
The Tawns will now take on the loser of tonight's match between Dandenong and Bendigo.
Good evening. A day of fresh and gusty winds from the west producing some low temps around the state. Hobart reached 10, Launceston, Burnie and Devonport all on 13. Thunderstorms seen about the west of the state, snowfall at 700 metres. St Helens, Friendly Beaches, King Island and Eddiston all got to 14, which was the state's max. Wynyard, Flinders and Swan Island on 13. Lowhead, Maria Island, Strawn and Scottsdale reached 12. Macquarie Island only managed a -2 today and also recorded the state's low of -3 over overnight. Satellite showing high cloud over northern New South Wales and the Tasman. More cloud moving into the west there, coming from the Indian Ocean, creating some cool conditions for Western Australia. The rest of the country is mostly cloud-free. Looking closer, convective cloud is moving over the state. However, the northeast and east coast got to see plenty of clear skies. Tomorrow, we'll see a high move over southeast Australia, bringing a ridge across Tasmania. A cold front will create more showers and cool temperatures for the south of Western Australia. On the water, west to southwesterly wind to 20 knots, with seas reaching up to 3 metres about the west and southwest. Tomorrow, a partly cloudy one for Hobart and Richmond, 13. Ooze, cloudy with 12. Showers about the northeast, with Launceston getting up to 13. Devonport, 12. Deloraine, 10. Burnie, a shower or two with 12. Strawn, partly cloudy, 14. Curry, light showers with 15. The east coast has a possible late shower for St Helens with 12. Swansea, cloudy, 14. Whitemark, cloudy and 13. Looking at the 3-day forecast, showers about the north and west extending statewide by the afternoon. Tuesday will also see statewide rain by the afternoon with strong and gusty northwesterly winds. Wednesday, showers across the north, west and far south with strong and gusty winds. Around the country tomorrow, sunny for Brisbane and Darwin, plus Alice Springs. Adelaide, cloudy with 21. Sydney, mostly sunny. Melbourne, increasing cloud, 18. And our current temps are all in the single digits. Hobart, partly cloudy with 8. Launceston, mostly clear with 8. And Devonport on 7 and mostly clear as well. It's looking like a pretty fine Sunday afternoon for Hodge's last game at UTAS Stadium, Rach, but I think you'll still need a jacket. I think so. Thank you for that, Candice. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great Sunday, and I look forward to your company tomorrow night at 6. Bye for now.